A very good evening and a warm welcome to our second edition of UBC News Tonight on the 17th day of April 2025. I'm Lauryn Masika Kazimoto. Now we start off with our first headlining story this evening. President Museveni has addressed a public wealth creation rally in Greater Mubende held in Kiboga district with a strong emphasis on development, prosperity and wealth creation. The rally marks the conclusion of the president's three-day visit to the Greater Mubende sub-region. Now accompanying the president in Kiboga were Vice President Jessica Alupo, Prime Minister Robina Nabanja and several ministers.
President Museveni's three-day wave creation tour across Greater Mubende has concluded with a public gathering at Saza grounds in Kiboga district.
President abantu ba Greater Mubende bakiriza nga tetwesazeemu wadde n'akatono okuddamu okunoonyeza akalulu okakuwa n'akacapizo n'akajanja.
Also present was the NRM Central Executive Committee members, Godfrey Chiwanda Subi, among other several dignitaries.
Era wakitugambanga nti obwavu buno bujja tuleetera ekizibu naye ku mulundi guno wakomawo n'eddagala.
In addition to the Vice Presidents, Jessica Alupo and Prime Minister Robina Nabanja, other key figures included Deputy NRM Secretary General Rose Namayanja, Ministers Judith Navakoba, Alice Kaboyo, among others.
I would also like to report to you that these tours have ignited a spirit of enthusiasm and participation by citizens in their own development. You have encouraged the people to engage meaningfully in wealth and job creation initiatives by producing goods and services for commercial purposes.
Twogera ku nguudo za kolasi n'enkulaakulana endala ne tukyenkwasa endowooza eyo nze sigikiriza kubanga kyenjogera nkimanyi.
Communities were mobilized to continue rallying behind the NRM government. This rally is part of the president's ongoing wealth creation campaign in the region.
Wadde olukumpi n'oluguudo olwa kolansi wadde oluwala tandika kubako ekikyo kyokola gavumenti ekuwagire kubanga gavumenti ebadde ebawagira ebiseera bino byonna naye abantu tebafaayo. Twatandika n'entandikwa esente zajjanga kugombolola eyo netuvaayo netugenda ku NADS. While
addressing the sub-region, President Museveni reiterated his message of wealth creation.
N'olwekyo kyembasaba nti mwogere bino mwogere biri naye tandikira ku makaago kubanga obwavu bubwo ng'omuntu. Obwavu bwe mulese waka ku makya
Citing examples of successful wealth creators he has encountered across the country, the president stressed that this is the most viable path forwards.
Atenze sagala kubeera obulungi abantu bange Katonda beyampeereza okukulembera ne babeera mu bwavu y'ensonga zijja kubegayirira bannange muve mu bwavu naye abamu tebafaayo.
The president has called on local leaders to serve as his ambassadors for wealth creation.
N'olwekyo nze saagala kubeera mu embeera eyo kubeera mu bantu abaavu amaka 25,000 nayomba n'ab'endangaalo era nsanyusa okulaba nti ab'amaddiini batandise kubeera mu kisinde kya Kristo.
This gathering officially brings to a close the president's three-day wealth creation visit to the Greater Mubende sub-region. Robert Onyango, UBC News.
President Yoweri Kaguta Museveni has once again emphasized that Uganda will bow to Western powers in pursuit of aid, resources or market access. Instead, he is urging Ugandans and Africans at large to rally behind the vision of regional and continental integration.
President Yoweri Kaguta Museveni has addressed the media in Mubende on several issues, including the recent move by the United States of America to impose a 10% tariff on Ugandan products.
Kati oberi mu Uganda mwaronda LC3 owamwe akola ki kubanga twalete sente z'okuyamba abanaku be bali abamulonda kati kijje kitya nti ababbe basala ku bantu be bakikirira esente nasirika obusulizi.
The engagement held at State Lodge in Mubende was attended by members of the press, along with the Minister of ICT and National Guidance, Dr. Chris Baryomusi, among others.
Buganda mutuveeko byomwogera butwa mugenda kutuleetera mugenda you are going to stunt our future, because that's what happened in 1962. The Soviets the veterans okuddamu.
During the session, media practitioners raised a range of issues, including economic concerns and regional cooperation.
Twalinawo radios ezaali zitandise naye zaggyibwako era abavubuka bangi tebalina mirimu
kuyaba beere neyaabwe Nyanzi, why? What are you looking for? You can have one good radio, and abatandika radio one radio star, obekyali osimanyi yali ya Luganda ndowooza tiyali ya Luganda then there is Bukede.
On the matter of price fluctuations in agricultural produce, the President reiterated that East African integration is key to stabilizing markets and enhancing trade.
So that's why we always tell you, it's not just economy, but also politics. That's why we tell you regional integration. Mwetaga East Africa. Okugaziya akatale simanyi ku CBS oba mwogera ku East Africa oba mbeera ku Buganda yokka Buganda CBS yamwe eyo y'obujajja esomesa abantu nti mwetaaga East Africa mwetaaga Uganda oba babagumaaliza mu Buganda.
He also cautioned against political, religious and tribal divisions, urging Ugandans to unite and work collectively for the national development. On the recently imposed US tariffs, President Museveni made it clear he is unshaken.
Imposed a 10% tariff on our products. We as Ugandans, we are asking ourselves, what next? We are riding on a slippery road for our products.
Trump has put a tax. What shall we do? You have Africa, work on Africa. Trump is a mwagala nnyo kubanga abasiru abalaga obusulu bwabwe omuntu bwagamba nti oli musiru nkyagala nnyo kubanga akubuulira amazibu kubanga obeera musiru ddala. So why have you been? Because they've been telling you tribes, religion. Okay, let them solve your problem now.
Instead, he challenged the continent to rise to the occasion and reduce dependency.
Are you trying to step in as a president, as a grandfather, in negotiating for the return of these markets? Now that AGOA is already a gone deal, where are we heading, Your Excellency?
So, the Trump should be taken. Mungende negayirire Trump sirina budde obwo kubanga Trump ayinza kubawo omulala najja naye najja n'ebirowoozo ebibye. Lwaki tokola ekikyo n'okizimba?
President donated shillings 100 million and a service van to the Greater Mubende Media Circle, containing a train scene throughout his evacuation tours. Robert Nyango, UBC News.
Now, Vice President retired Major Jessica Alupo yesterday handed over 41 in-CAF direct cows to 41 councillors in Katakwi district, a donation from President Museveni aimed at improving household incomes and livelihoods. The president had made the pledge during his recent parish development model monitoring and mobilization tour in the district, promising to support councillors with income-generating projects. Now, while delivering the cows, Vice President Alupo urged the beneficiaries not to sell them, but instead use the heifers to enhance their livelihoods, noting that the cows are in calf and will begin producing milk soon. She advised the councillors to follow veterinary guidance on vaccination and treatment to ensure proper care of the animals.
Vice President Major retired Jessica Alupo, who delivered the 41 direct cows to the Katakwi district councillors, urged them not to sell the cows, but use them to improve their livelihoods, emphasizing that the heifers are in calf and will produce in a short time. She also advised the councillors to take good care of the cows, following veterinary guidance on vaccination and treatment. She emphasized that the councillors should be exemplary to their voters by ensuring the animals are well cared for.
It's a general observation that here in Teso, dairy farming is still being done in a very low scale, and therefore, on the request of the LC5 councillors of Katakwi district to create role models in them as leaders of sub-counties, to create and establish mentors of wealth creation in sub-counties, specifically in dairy farming. His Excellency the President has responded to that request from the councillors by procuring for us and sending me as a messenger to you to deliver the 41 heifers.
After handing over the cows, Alupo officiated at belated Women's Day celebration in Atoroma Primary School, where she donated a brand new tractor to Katakwi District Women Group. This gesture aims to empower women and enhance their economic capabilities.
Oh, girl child, keep it up. I love the momentum in you. Yes, I want to let's Convoy Primary School from Kapijan. Next is Kokorio Primary School. Wow!
Earlier in the day, Vice President Alupo joined hundreds of Christians at St. Peter's Seminary, Madera, to celebrate the Chrism Mass presided over by Bishop of Soroti Catholic Diocese, Dr. Joseph Echiru. Alupo praised Bishop it will transform the souls of Christians. She advised the Christians to support priests by praying for them against devilish attacks, emphasizing that the devil targets priests.
I congratulate all of you. And on behalf of all the Christians of Soroti Catholic Diocese, we shall continue respecting you. We shall continue depending on you for spiritual guidance and other matters which require your attention. And we shall continue listening to you as our shepherds. We should all, and we must all participate in socio-economic transformation of our country. Government has invested in infrastructure, but government appreciates the role of religious institutions in the country, because religious institutions, religious denominations of all categories, the programs of government symbiotically in the education sector, for instance, in the health sector, in the fight against poverty, and most importantly, in the moral upbringing of the young ones and also the people. I want to leave you with one quotation from the Bible. that the fear of the Lord is a beginning of wisdom.
She donated 20 million shillings to the bishop and urged Christians to support completion of Regina Cheli construction.
We are here to thank and praise God for those whom Jesus the High Priest has vested with his authority and honored with the dignity of his priesthood. Those whom he has called and chosen from among many and charged to continue his mission to preach his gospel and to dispense everywhere his graces and blessings. Praise God! Amen. Hands of priests. All the hope and salvation of man is placed in the hands of priests. You want to be saved? The priests are here. The priests are here. What a great responsibility.
The Vice President also commissioned the rehabilitated 4-classroom block, which had been blown off by thunderstorms and was out of use for over a year. She also commissioned the water project in the district. The events were attended by notable figures, including His Highness Emormor Papa Iteso Paul Sande Emolot, members of Parliament, Minister for Disability, Helen Grace Asamo, Minister for Ethics and Integrity, Rosie Lily Akelo, and other invited guests.
UBC News Tonight. Now, the First Lady and Minister of Education and Sports, Janet Museveni, met with representatives from the Rockefeller Foundation and the World Food Programme to explore partnerships aimed at developing a national school feeding program. The discussions focused on addressing the urgent need to provide all Ugandan school children with at least one nutritious meal a day. Currently, only 34% of learners receive a hot meal, with parents largely responsible for feeding, a model seen as unreliable and unsustainable. The Ministry of Education is working to establish a school feeding policy and budget, but faces challenges including limited funding, lack of school kitchens and dining facilities, and concerns over traditional cooking methods. The Rockefeller Foundation pledged support for cleaner cooking alternatives like LPG and briquettes, already adopted in other African nations. The First Lady emphasized a multi-sectoral approach involving key ministries to secure sustainable solutions and funding for the program.
The urgent need for a structured and sustainable feeding model to ensure that all school-going children receive at least one nutritious meal a day.
Our children need good feeding. Uganda does produce the food, so the food is there in our country, but the government does not have sufficient funding to procure food to feed the schools.
Currently, Uganda places the responsibility for feeding school children, especially in public schools, on parents. This system has, however, proven inconsistent and unsustainable. Many children attend school without lunch, leading to fatigue and poor academic performance.
I hope that this meeting opens up a new door for us to cooperate even more, giving us some motivation that this is doable. We've been trying to see what is possible, but I think your coming here gives us some motivation that we too can manage to feed our children in schools, and we know that it will make a big difference.
Only 34% of Ugandan learners receive at least one hot meal per day, with the responsibility for feeding largely left to parents, leaving 66% without adequate nutrition. The Ministry of Education and Sport has made commitments to develop a national school feeding policy and establish a dedicated budget line, but is challenged by insufficient funding, lack of infrastructure in schools like kitchens and dining halls, and environmental concerns related to traditional cooking methods.
So we committed as the Rockefeller Foundation to accompany Uganda and to help Uganda think through innovative financing mechanisms. So that offer, of course, still stands. We're here today to make sure that we do good on our commitment.
The Rockefeller Foundation expressed its commitment to supporting a transition to clean cooking solutions, including electric pressure cookers and briquettes made from agricultural waste. These technologies, already in use in countries like Kenya and Rwanda, present an opportunity for Uganda to modernize school kitchens while preserving its natural resources.
It's a very exciting time in Karamoja in particular. We're supporting over 300,000 children in schools together with the government, but also harnessing local food production to benefit local farmers. And I think this really shows how, in a concrete way, every shilling invested in homegrown school feeding is a shilling in the pocket of a Ugandan farmer. So it's not just about children and education, it's about small-scale local farmers, but generational development over time.
Reporting for UBC, Baguma William.
Politicians and public servants serving in public offices in Entebbe have pledged to serve the public with humility that was exhibited by Jesus Christ when he washed the feet of his disciples, which was a sign of humility and a good servant.
As Christians prepare to celebrate the death and resurrection of Jesus Christ, today in Entebbe Municipality, believers reflected on the relevance of the day and lessons obtained from Holy Thursday.
On this day, that is when he led his apostles into the Last Supper. And during the Last Supper, two critical events happened. He washed the feet of the apostles. And via washing the feet, he was telling us loud and clear that we should serve others.
We are happy that this day reminds us of the humility that the true Son of God exhibited while running his mission on the earth. And we as believers, we are reminded to continue carrying on that humility.
The head of laity at Bugonga Parish, Kayanja Vincent Paul, explained the deeds of Jesus Christ on the Last Supper where he washed the feet of the disciples.
And this was the first Mass. And this was the foundation of what we Catholics call the Eucharist. And from that day, the Eucharist has been celebrated. It is the center of the Catholic faith. It is the center of our worship. It is the center of our salvation.
We request that everybody goes to the church nearest or where they congregate every Sunday and every other day. It is a day that they should dedicate for prayer as we remember, or we look forward to remembering the death and the resurrection of Jesus Christ.
Following the stewardship of Christ, here in Entebbe Municipality, politicians and public servants were challenged to emulate what Jesus did.
And I think as a country we are challenged over this, at this critical moment of our life, and even during this time when politicians are all over. Are we servant leaders? Because that is the missing link in Uganda. We should strive to be servant leaders as we reflect on the life of Jesus and we commemorate this Last Supper.
Shaidat Nasaku, Sulaka Gugube, UBC News.
The third Deputy Prime Minister and Minister without portfolio, Hajat Rukia Nsanga Nakadama, has urged parents to prioritize the education of their children as a means to break the cycle of poverty. Her message was delivered by the State Minister for Primary Education, Dr. Joyce Muriku Kaduchu, during the 22nd graduation ceremony of Kampala University held at Gaba campus.
554 students graduated in various disciplines, ranging from certificates to master's degrees, during the university's 22nd graduation ceremony for the School of Nursing and Health Sciences. Representing the third Deputy Prime Minister, Minister Kaduchu encouraged parents and guardians to fulfill their obligation of educating children to enable them compete in the job market.
Head of State, President General Yoweri Kaguta Museveni, has always emphasized on innovation and research, and this it has inspired the private universities to prioritize in this area to ensure graduates are equipped to address really challenges and to contribute to the society positively.
Kaduchu also reminded graduates to uphold values of integrity and dedicate themselves to serving humanity.
Together, let us continue to advance the cause of higher education, and let's build a nation that is proud of its educated, skilled, and empowered citizens.
The university's Chancellor, Professor Mondo George Kagonyera, urged the graduates to avoid corruption and to apply the knowledge and skills they have acquired responsibly.
I encourage you graduates to apply these skills not only in your professional endeavors, but also in your personal life. Whether you are starting your own business, leading a community initiative, or contributing to the public sector, your ability to innovate and approach things with an open mind will be invaluable.
In his address, the Vice-Chancellor, Professor Badru Katerega, reaffirmed the institution's commitment to advancing a competence-based curriculum as introduced by the Ministry of Education.
Congratulations today as you celebrate your hard work, resilience and dedication. As you begin this new chapter, remember this is just the beginning. The world awaits your talents and knowledge. Believe in yourselves. Stay curious and approach the future with confidence. Your potential is limitless. Go forth, go yonder, make your mark, and shine brightly. The sky is not only the limit, it is just the start.
Professor Katerega also introduced his children, whom he has entrusted with managing the institution, and encouraged them to preserve the Katerega family legacy.
Accreditation of our academic programs, the National Council for Higher Education has accredited 48 of our academic programs for an additional 7 years.
Top performing students were recognized and awarded cash prizes as tokens of appreciation. The event was graced by the Ambassador of Iran to Uganda, the Rector of IUIU, and the Honorary Consul of the Republic of Uganda to Namibia, Godfrey Chirumira, among other distinguished dignitaries. Rebecca Natongo, Mike Bakabulindi, UBC News.
The National Union of Disabled Persons has submitted a petition to the Equal Opportunities Commission, raising concerns that several ministerial policy statements presented to Parliament for budget approval by various ministries, departments and agencies have overlooked the needs of persons with disabilities. We have the details.
Following the enactment of the Public Finance Management Act of 2015, which emphasizes equal opportunities in gender and equity, MDAs are required to submit gender and equity compliance reports to Parliament during the budgeting process. This is to ensure inclusivity and that no one is left behind in national planning. As of now, several MDAs are still presenting their ministerial process statements for the 2025-2026 budget cycle. These include, among others, the Ministry of Health and the Ministry of Gender, Labour and Social Development. According to NUDIP, the 2025 policy plans from these ministries fail to incorporate critical provisions for persons with disabilities.
that in the ministerial policy statement for the office of the Prime Minister, data is presented therein of people that were resettled, among others, but there is nothing on persons with disabilities. The ministerial policy statement does not unpack disability statistics. The cost of managing children with disabilities is high.
Despite assurances from the ministry heads about inclusive planning, NUDIP maintains that these promises have not been realized in the 2025 budget.
We don't want false promises. We want action. We want action. So under Ministry of Health, that is critical. Essential drugs are not reaching out to persons with disabilities in the lower health facilities. They are not there. That is a big issue, which we noted.
Meanwhile, Uganda National Teachers Union has also raised concerns about discriminatory salary enhancements within the teaching profession. This comes after the government pledged 49 billion shillings for salary improvements. The union argues that disparities still exist, disadvantaging certain categories of teachers despite this commitment.
Because in 2022, July, there was a 300% increment for one category of teachers, leaving all others with nothing. And yet we had agreed on a gradual increment for all categories over the 5 years. So when this was abandoned, now it brought a sharp divide between the teaching fraternity.
The chairperson of the Equal Opportunities Commission, Safia Nolejoko, has responded to the petitioners' concerns.
But I was so happy to see that we are now at the level of assessing ministerial policy statements. I think this is the way to go. If you can ensure that in the national development plan and the national budget and the programs and sectoral plans and budgets, disability issues are there, I think you would have done the biggest part of our work as Equal Opportunities Commission.
Rebecca Nantongo, Susan Inabugude, UBC News.
The ceremonial handover of assets from Kilembe Mines Limited to joint venture partners for the redevelopment of the historic mining site has officially taken place in Kampala. Presiding over the event, the State Minister for Minerals, Fiona Nyamtoro, emphasized the critical role of value addition in the mineral sector in driving Uganda's social and economic transformation.
In a significant milestone for Uganda's mining sector, the Kilembe Mines Limited has officially handed over its assets to Uganda National Mining Company Limited. This marks a new chapter in the redevelopment of the historic copper and cobalt site in Kasesa district.
And I must say it's such a great opportunity for us to be part of reviving history in our times. As you may recall, in 2018, Government of Uganda made the decision to redevelop the Kilembe Mines, as the CEO earlier stated, through a mineral production sharing agreement.
Uganda National Mining Company, in a joint venture under the legal mechanism of a mineral production sharing agreement with Sarai Group Limited and Nile Fiber Board, is set to resume mining activities in the once thriving Kilembe Mines, which have remained idle for nearly 4 decades.
We as Uganda National Mining Company, together with Sarai Group Limited and Nile Fiber, duly acknowledge receipt of the assets, and as per the roadmap, between 17th and 25th April, shall finalize the audit, verification and full physical receipt of the assets without any liabilities of Kilembe Mines Limited.
I said today is a landmark moment because and I believe it is largely for the mining industry in Uganda, and as this project is going to be one of the first that is signed in the new regime that has been envisaged with the involvement of the Uganda National Mining Corporation. And it incorporates 2 very important principles that His Excellency Yoweri Museveni and the government of Uganda have outlined for the mining industry. Those are to have full value addition of all minerals locally within Uganda, and to have a fiscal framework where Uganda gets full value for its minerals.
According to the Ministry of Energy and Mineral Development, the revival of Kilembe Mines will set a new benchmark for the future of mining in the country. The ministry pledged full support to the joint venture partners to ensure the success of the ambitious project.
Ugandans are watching us. All eyes are in high gears of how Kilembe Mines can be beneficial to this country. And I think not just for the metal industry, but for us as the Ministry of Energy and Mineral Development, this is a great milestone that we want to celebrate at every point and add confidence onto the voice of Sarai Group that we shall be with you all through the journey. The Uganda National Mining Company is set, our mission is clear, and our goal is to see that we promote sustainable, responsible mining in Uganda.
The Kilembe Mines Limited has been handling the care and maintenance of the site, has now unconditionally handed over the assets to new developers, paving the way for a full-scale operations to begin. Dennis Igoa for UBC.
Come on, mo pocket, tambula about the street, shoes are my target. We are what? Unstoppable. We are what? Unstoppable. I'm in a plantation, but on a global mission, internet ambition, full condition. We are what? Unstoppable. We are what? Unstoppable. All the cash is gone, netaga yo kaloni, nigga mukafoni, money in the zone. We are what? Unstoppable. We are what? Unstoppable. We are good.
With you and MTN together, our ambition is unstoppable.
We are what? Unstoppable!
A smile that is white, fresh and beautiful is a smile to be proud of. Discover new Colgate White and Fresh for the whole family with high quality and an incredible price.
Amazina ganje ninyetekwa Seruhanga John Bosco Induga mu district ya Rukungiri ndio muhanguzi wa miliyoni 18 na Uganda National Rotary nzahangwire urwo mu kuzana star 278 hash ngafuna message eriko ka ndio muhanguzi nashemererwa konka nabaza kugira ngo nebiya bafere sente ziriyo zona bakaziteka ngo nazihangwire.
Uganda National Lottery. Dream, play, win.
Participants must be 18 years or older. Play responsibly. The Uganda National Lottery is operated by Ituba Uganda and regulated by the National Lotteries and Gaming Regulatory Board.
Welcome back from that break, and we're glad that you're still here with us on UBC News Tonight. I am Lauryn Masika Kazimoto. Now, in more news this evening, President Yoweri Kaguta Museveni has reaffirmed Uganda's commitment to the promotion of the Kiswahili language and the broader agenda of African unity. Now, his message was delivered by Uganda's High Commissioner to Tanzania, Ambassador Colonel Fred Mwesije, during the closing ceremony of the 3-day International Kiswahili Conference at Kololo Independence Grounds.
President Yoweri Museveni has said that the revival of the East African community in 2000 aims at strengthening regional integration through a shared language, common currency, and the vision of a united African continent. This was contained in a message delivered for him by Uganda's High Commissioner to Tanzania, Ambassador Colonel Fred Mwesije, during the closing ceremony of the 3-day International Kiswahili Conference at Kololo Independence Grounds in Kampala. During the closing ceremony, Ambassador Mwesige echoed President Museveni's call to strengthen Kiswahili as a unifying tool for the continent.
Making sure that Swahili becomes an African language, a Ugandan language, a language of East Africans, a language of integration is already in progress. The foundation has been set and all the schools are being taught Swahili, and Swahili is examinable. Swahili is learnt in cabinet every Monday, so I have no doubt.
The event was marked by active student participation, reflecting a growing interest and enthusiasm for the Kiswahili language.
I urge all the Ugandans so that we can come up and speak Kiswahili as our national language. Imagine Uganda, imagine us Africans speaking Kiswahili as a national language. This will bring unity in us in terms of trade, in terms of tourism. Our infrastructure will develop.
And maybe accelerate us to the social development and promote unity with us Ugandans and peace. So if everyone has been urged to speak Swahili, we shall all be united as one, and we can be able not only to trade with other East African countries, but we can maybe promote peace and communicate with them effectively.
Schools like Mother Teresa Preparatory School in Adjumani and First Line Institute of Higher Education in Kampala showcased their efforts in teaching Kiswahili and appealed to government for more support in promoting the language and its cultural significance.
We realize that Kiswahili has failed in secondary schools, mainly because children at this level, they cannot master language very fast. Therefore, we are promoting it in nursery schools. And how are we doing it? We are training nursery teachers to teach young children in Kiswahili so that they can master the Kiswahili language at an early age.
I'd like to extend our request as a school to him to gift us with a bus so that we can move the whole of Uganda, we can move the whole of East Africa, we can move the whole of Africa to take the message of Pan-Africanism.
Ambassador Mwesige assured them that their appeals would be relayed to the president.
Plus, the children from Moyo, that school of small children who are speaking fantastic Swahili, they have made a request and have asked that they put their request in writing, which I will convey to His Excellency the President. And I'm very sure when the President receives this letter, he will definitely give them a bus.
Event organizer and group CEO of Africa Mashariki Fest, Dr. Tendoronex Chisembo, expressed optimism about the dream of African unification through a shared language.
This conference was to promote and the domestication and adoption of Kiswahili by all stakeholders in Uganda, East Africa, and Africa. We believe that Kiswahili as a unifying language, non-discriminatory, and a trade enabler has to be embraced by all stakeholders. We cannot afford to continue negating the adoption of Kiswahili because of the historical mistakes that happened in 1978-79.
The day culminated in an exhibition of Kiswahili-themed artworks, celebrating and promoting the region's rich cultural heritage. In recognition of contribution to Kiswahili promotion, UBC TV was awarded a certificate of appreciation. I'm Waeva Njuko and Mike Bakabulindi for UBC.
Residents of Atutur sub-county in Kumi district have petitioned State Minister for Housing, Princess Persis Namuganza, over land grabbers. The disputed land, which is said to cover 100-acre shelters at Atutur's community school, which is reported to have been closed by purported landowners Richard Agama and Michael Ochum. They now want Minister Namuganza to forward their concerns to the President to save a government school from what they described as land thieves.
They are living in fear for what they say is standing for the truth. This is because they are being threatened with imprisonment and harm if they do not abandon issues concerning the contested land. Sitting on about 100 acres, the land found in Atutur sub-county, also houses a government school.
These people came with the money, paying people to look for you, when to want them to kill you, just like that. Don't even do anything for them, but they are looking for us for nothing.
How can a government which benefits from land donated by families, donated by communities, donated by clans, just watch the situation of losing that land when they have benefit for that land?
That land was donated to government so many years, 1948, and these people are not even born. How can they come and grab this land?
The concern is that one family is claiming ownership of the land, even when government won the case against the two brothers in 2015. Charles Arebi is the area chairman who wants the minister to visit and witness for herself what is happening on the land.
Atutu had a school, but it has been stopped. What is the government doing? That's why we say, Madam, please kindly come here. You will see the structures. They are just about it. A very big school.
The minister, who had listened in silence while taking notes, lauded them for maintaining calm despite the challenging times.
The issue of threatening violence or intimidation of any sort is a security matter, and it's not allowed. No matter whether the matter is in court or not, those things should not feature anyway. But in land grabbing, it is one of the instruments they use to fight. Yes. Sometimes they just use words, sometimes they implement the words they are using. Yeah. Say, I'm going to kill you so that you back off. But sometimes they say, I'm going to kill you, and they really kill.
She pledged to take on the matter as requested in their petition.
In law, there is guidance. There is what we call the public good, which you all know very well. Something where the public has interest. Yes. The interest of the public should take what? Lead. And that's why when you told me that the school was closed, a government school closed under land contention, under land dispute, and the government secondary school, the only school in the sub-county was closed, I wondered. And now, that's why I agree with you when you said that corruption is real.
For now, she wants them to maintain calm, as no one is allowed to use the land, asking them to impose a moratorium to ensure public property is not abused. Henry Okrut, UBC.
UBC News Tonight takes a very short break, but return with more stories after these messages.
We used to run, but most of the time we were running away from something. But nowadays, everything seems different. People still run, but they are running towards something. They run to test their limits, to break new records. And when we do it right, we inspire others.
The inaugural Coffee Marathon, uplifting rural coffee women, 24th May at Africa Coffee Park, Ntungamo.
Come, let us run.
To register, dial *217 *413 #. Choose option 4. Or scan the event QR code or visit the website to choose the race options. Brought to you by Inspire Africa Group.
Special announcement from the Baseline Education Census 2025. The Uganda Bureau of Statistics, in collaboration with the Ministry of Education and Sports, is conducting the Baseline Education Census 2025. This exercise will cover all learning institutions in the country for both government and private establishments, namely pre-primary, primary, secondary, vocational, and higher institutions of learning. The baseline education census exercise data collection is being conducted in a phased manner, starting with Greater Kampala Metropolitan Area, comprising of districts of Kampala, Mukono, and Wakiso. The rollout to all other regions will commence at the beginning of second term. The baseline education census collects information on learners, teachers, and school facilities to facilitate planning and policy decisions in the education sector. Uganda Bureau of Statistics appeals to the general public, heads of schools and institutions, as well as the local government authorities to cooperate with the BEC enumerators. In a special way, UBOS appeals to all parents of the learners to support the exercise by availing learners with their correct date of birth, national identification number, and learner's identification number. For more information, please call 0772 933 628 or 0743 787 189 from Dr. Chris Mukiza, Executive Director.
Kama nemo pocket, tambula body street, issues are my target. We are what? Unstoppable. We are what? Unstoppable. I'm in a plantation, but on a global mission. Internet ambition, full condition. We are what? Unstoppable. We are what? Unstoppable. Oro cash is gone, netaga yo karoni, niga mukafoni, money in the zone. We are what? Unstoppable. We are what? Unstoppable. We are good.
With you and MTN together, our ambition is unstoppable.
We are what? Unstoppable!
Welcome back. Now into business. The government has applauded Uganda's dairy processors for their instrumental role in transforming the country's dairy industry through strategic value addition that has significantly boosted both local consumption and export earnings. Now, the latest statistics indicate that Uganda produces over 3.8 billion liters of milk annually. Increasingly, this milk is no longer sold in raw form. Instead, it is processed into high-demand products like yogurt, cheese, and long-life UHT milk, opening new market opportunities across East Africa and beyond.
Has firmly established itself as a cornerstone of Uganda's agriculture economy, contributing steadily to GDP growth and supporting rural livelihoods. The rise in milk processing plants countrywide has enhanced the value of milk while ensuring safety, diversity, and convenience for consumers.
Also, we encourage people to consume milk, try and consume processed milk products. Because what we encourage people also to go more into value addition is if market is there for these products. Are we consuming these products? Are we consuming yogurt, for example? Do we consume pasteurized milk or UHT? Do we consume cheese?
Uganda now produces over 3.8 billion liters of milk annually, much of which is processed into products such as UHT milk, yogurt, and cheese. Dr. Ahimbisiwe says this growth is not only good for the economy, it's changing Ugandans' relationship with milk.
Some people have never even tasted or even seen how cheese looks like, but it is a very nutritious product. Actually, cheese is concentrated protein. Protein is extracted from the milk and it is made into cheese. For if you just take a bit of cheese, then you are taking a lot of proteins, concentrated proteins in the milk. But do we take cheese? Do we take yogurt? Do we take powder? Do we take ghee?
The increasing availability of processed dairy products has encouraged more people, especially those previously averse to raw milk, to embrace milk consumption.
And the only reason I like taking daily top yogurt is because it's the best on the market.
This yogurt has really made me love school, because my school has yogurt. So whenever I want something at the canteen, I will easily buy yogurt and it will help me study that love.
First of all, milk contains proteins which help the body to build out the worn-out cells.
and make the body sober for an academic student to read and pass very high.
To meet rising demand, Lakeside Dairies, one of the country's leading processors, is expanding its distribution network while offering affordable dairy options to communities nationwide.
So it has been made easier for everyone to come and obtain the product as from the factory. It is fresh and all the products are here, running from yogurt, all sizes. If you want a pouch, if you want a cup, all milk, if you want fino, if you want ESL, if you want dodler, it's all fresh. As is from the factory, is how it is obtained here.
At Lakeside Dairies, their goal is to reach to all Ugandans regardless of income. Sudat Kaye and Ambrose Muhumuza, UBC News.
Boda Boda riders under the United Boda Boda Riders Cooperative Union have pledged to take legal action against companies accused of exploiting their earnings. This was announced during the launch of the union's new office in Luwero town. We have the details.
Boda Boda Riders leaders have criticized predatory loan schemes that trap traders in debts with unfair interest rates. Fred Mwema and Chairman Frank have likened the loan conditions to giving a rider a rabbit and taking back a ball.
Tukole olukalala lwa agreement ezo zonna kwebaseerera boda zitunulemu nga balooya bwe tuba twetaaga kuziyuzaamu tuziyuzeemu tuziwakanye kuba kirabika interest munene nnyo so ekyo nga balooya tujja kikolako.
But the reason why we came up with such a program, first of all, our sector has extorters that have been selling us motorcycles at a higher interest rate in an equation that is equivalent to someone giving you a rabbit and you pay back a bull. That means someone sells you a motorcycle on loan that costs 5 million and you pay back 12 millions.
This was during the launch of the union's new office in Luwero town at an event characterized by parade through Luwero town. During the event, Sali Ali was sworn in as the new chairman of Luwero Boda Boda Riders, pledging unity among riders.
And with that, UBC News Tonight has come to an end. Thank you so much for your company this evening. I'm Lauryn Masika Kazimoto. Have yourself a good night.
The Uganda People's Defence Forces Engineering Brigade has successfully completed construction of a modern 3-storied building in Gulu city that will serve as the regional passport center for northern Uganda.
Gulu Directorate of Citizenship and Immigration Center project is a project intended to give services to the people of the north and the surroundings, a better service, so that instead of them moving the whole way from Gulu, Lira, where to come to Kampala to look for passports or to solve other issues related to movement, they just go to Gulu. This project was given to UPDF, and I was called to be part of the team implementing and to lead
So we went, we met several times at the Ministry of Internal Affairs with the bosses before finally implementing and costing it. We costed. Now the costing was one, we were to build that structure right from scratch. I went to the site, we identified the land. After identifying the land which they gave us, we had to clear the site. After clearing the site, we got some obstacles there, which as engineers, because there were pit latrines all over the place, septic tanks. So we had to design proper structures to ensure that our structure which we put out will never settle. And after that, we erected the structure. A structure is a 3-level structure. 1, 2, 3, let me say 4 level in total, ground floor inclusive. Now we put up a structure. It is a mega structure, as you see. It will serve the purpose and the interests of the immigration center. All offices are inclusive. We had to accommodate people. We have